Balance Doctor. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real relevant and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. We have with us today Miss Marie Hall. How are you today, Marie?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful as well, and even better now that today I know that we're going to get over this whole fear factor. Everything that's causing us to be afraid in life, what you scared of, right? We're going to learn from Marie Hall how to get past this thing called fear. She's going to take us on her journey as to some things that caused her to kind of be pigeonholed into where she felt like, I am so nervous and afraid and my self-esteem is kind of beaten down. She's going to talk to us about her journey, but then also give us the opportunity to learn some tips on how we can apply these strategies that will help us break free from fear. So I want you all, as we come into today's studio audience, to grab your virtual seats. Go ahead and invite some friends, family, coworkers to today's broadcast. And usually when we're starting the show and we do that, you're like, Kim, we need a few seconds to do that. We don't want you to tell us to do that and we miss what the person is going to say, right? So what I'm going to do is give you 30 seconds. Come in, type your name, where you're visiting in from, and then go ahead and tag a few friends. Is that fair, Marie?
Yes.
All right.
Please tag a few friends.
Yes. And then I'm going to formally introduce our guest and get started with today's episode. So you have 30 seconds now. All right, everybody. I tagged a few people. I hope you did as well. Did you, Marie?
I did.
All right. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump right into today's topic. And please feel free to type your comments. I will put the link in if you want to come on head to head and ask any questions. Also, during today's broadcast, we're going to hear from attorney Charles Everage, and he's going to talk to us about how to properly apply for Social Security disability. So you're in for a treat with that as well. After many struggles, Marie Hall decided to change the trajectory of her life and become more intentional, understanding her words have power and valuing her self-worth to move from her fears to faith. Today, Marie is a change agent, assisting others with becoming the best version of themselves. I'll say of ourselves, because I'm going to be learning as well. She works with the individuals and organizations to amplify and leverage their confidence, skills, and knowledge to impact the world. Marie is also an author, transformational speaker, and the founder and CEO of Ruby Mac Learning Academy and Myrtle Tree Publishing. So under her ministry, business, and educational background, she weaves in storytelling to deliver captivating tales which inspires others to triumph over their past trials. So Marie Hall, we are so glad to have you here. And I do know that you have an overall mission, but I'll give you a chance to say what that is throughout today's broadcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. You know, it's funny when you hear someone giving you your whole bio and stuff. I still can't believe it, but I thank God for everything that He's doing in my life and continue to do in my life. But hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Marie Hall. As you heard, I am the CEO of Ruby Mac Learning Academy, where we help children with their academic struggles. We also do adult literacy. Hey, Apostle. And we help organizations leverage skills of their employees so that they can increase their productivity. But how did I get there? It wasn't by luck, it wasn't by chance, but it had everything to do with me being intentional and doing it the way that God wanted me to do it. And so I just want to give you a little bit of my story. And I think since we're talking about fear today, and I'm going to lay it all out on the table for you today and on the Kim Jacobs show today, my fear actually started when I was about 5 years old. And that was because I was molested by my uncle at 5 years old. And so that is the beginning of my fear. And you know, when I was thinking about fear and talking about fear, fear is never a part of us. We're not born with fear. It is seeds that are planted in us. So at an early age, at 5 years old, having a grown man come into my room and molest me is something that no child should ever have to deal with. And then I can think about when I was a teenager having a relationship with a young man and going through an abusive relationship. I have been battered, I have been bruised, and I have been broken. But it's only by the grace of God that I'm sitting or standing here today to tell you about how good God is. That fear that I had kept me locked up, it kept me bound. And even though I'm a minister and I know the word of God, some areas of my life I never allowed God to touch. I never allowed God to deal with because I was too afraid to deal with them. But can I tell you today that you have to look fear in the face head on and decide that you want something greater than you allow the fear to be in your life. I tell you, when I was molested and when I went through that relationship with that young man, it did something to me. I internalized all of those things because I never told a soul, not a mumbling soul. I never said a word.
That's what I wanted to find out from you. Yeah. So at 5 years old, this happened, and this is somebody that you're being exposed to. Yes. I mean, so consistently, and so you're going to continue to get exposed because you don't know, nobody else knows not to have him babysit or have him take you to the store right quick or go pick you up from the bus stop, whatever I don't know what the situation was, but you're constantly being exposed to this person because it was kept a secret, right?
Yes, I didn't tell anyone. Now, some people might ask, well, why didn't you tell anyone? I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I thought maybe that somehow it is my fault that this is happening at 5 years old. And, you know, He said to, keep it a secret. He was telling me that he wanted to get into bed with me and he would pay me for him to get into bed with me. Of course, I said no. Luckily, there was no actual intercourse. He was just like fondling me. But even in that did something to me. It made me insecure. It made me afraid. It made me, not want to trust people.
So when did it stop? Because if nobody else that was there as an adult for you to feel comfortable enough to share it with, he somehow decided, okay, I'll just stop, I guess.
Well, as I got older, I probably was about 11 years old. And I started doing defense mechanisms. So I had this high bed and I would actually sleep under my bed so that he would not know where I was when he came in my room. So I would sleep under my bed. And then I guess he must have figured out that I was under my bed, but he couldn't actually get to me under the bed. So he would try to tell me, come out. And I would be like, no, no, no. But when I was about 11, maybe 11, 12 is when he actually stopped trying to, get at me or whatever. But I just remember it like it was yesterday. And, I often ask God, well, God, why did I never say anything to anybody? Why would I keep this to myself? But I realized that all throughout my life, I never said anything to anybody about any of the things that I was going through, any of the struggles that I was experiencing. And it may be because my family didn't really talk openly about different things. They held different things inside as well. So maybe that was why I didn't feel comfortable about speaking on things that was happening to me, even though my mother said I could come to her when
about
I had anything.
That's what every mother that is worth their weight in gold type of thing would say. Hey, you can come to me about anything and we can talk about everything. There's nothing off limits. So I know if you're saying your mom said that she sincerely meant it, right? Didn't she?
She did. She did. And she would tell me all the time, but it was just something that I just couldn't find myself doing. Even when I was in that relationship with that young man, I was just like, oh my God. And people, they thought they knew, but they really didn't know. They just assumed that they knew, but I kept everything such a big secret. You would see a smile on my face, but there was really no smile on the inside. I was just going through the motions. And you hear a lot of people that haven't been abused say, well, I would have just got out the relationship, or I would have done this, or I would have done that. But the fact of the matter is, until you're actually in that situation, you really don't know what you're going to do. You really don't know how you're going to handle the situation. So I just kept everything bottled up inside, which caused my self-esteem to be low, my self-worth to be low. I never believed in myself. I never really valued myself. Even when I came into Christ, and I accepted Christ at a young age, at 12, I accepted Christ. And then I got baptized again when I had more knowledge at 18. And even when I became a minister, I still never dealt with the issues that I had struggles with. And
Wow.
God has a way of, the first thing that he's going to do is show you. He's going to show you, and he's going to work on you. And in order for him to work on me, I had to be able to face the fears that I had. I had to be able to become more transparent, so that I could be healed, so that I could be made whole, so that I could step out and be a blessing to someone else. Because I can tell you right now, Kim, in ministry, you're only going to go only so far until you allow God to deal with all of the residue that you have in your life. He will, you're going to do great things in God. You can preach and teach, you can, but you're only going to go so far. I believed everything for everybody. I was everybody's biggest cheerleader. Go for it. Do it. You can do it. You got it. You're great. You were born for this. But when it came to me, Kim, I never believed in myself. I never thought I could do it. I never felt that I was equipped. No matter what God said, no matter what some of my friends said, I just never thought that it was possible.
Wow. If she's preaching to you, put a 1 in the comments, please. Just put a 1 in the comments, because I know that right now, today, Marie Hall sharing her story is ministering and helping some viewers that are watching today's episode. Pastor wife Tanya Anderson, Lady Tanya Anderson says, thank you so much for sharing your story today. And she really appreciates it. And then I saw comments from Zachary as well. And I think you acknowledged him already early on. Derek Zachary said that that's good. What we don't allow God to touch. That's really good, where we have those things that we just don't allow God to touch. So to hear you ministering, and not every person that comes on the Kim Jacobs Show is ministering, they're sharing just their tips and strategies on how you can balance your life. But today we are talking with a minister that's here to be able to express how we can get past fear. When did you finally decide to share with, because you're sharing it here on a show, so you obviously made a decision to share with somebody at some point that this was happening in your life. When did that happen?
So my pastor, he's on here, Apostle Zachary, he has this show called Raw Talk, where you just have to talk about everything.
Okay.
Everything. He deals with everything, every issue, every problem, every circumstance that a person can go through. And that's when I began to be a little more transparent in the things that I was going through. I'm currently writing my biography about all of the issues and the stuff that I've gone through. So it will be out real soon. But that is when I started being more open, more transparent, so that people can see that, listen, I didn't just get here. You see me today, but it took a long time for me to get here. It took decades for me to get through all of the stuff that I had built up inside of me. And it just doesn't happen overnight, Kim. But what I can tell you is that it does take God. It does take God to transform your mind, because I had to go through a whole transformation, because the thoughts that we have, they really keep you bound.
Right.
They really keep you locked up. They really keep you in a place like you're in a prison. And until you allow yourself to be open, you can't be free. And so I was creating this false narrative, because, you know, they always say that fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
But it was really real to me, because only I knew the things that I went through.
And nobody can downplay what you are experiencing, and from your perspective, how it's making you feel. I actually wanted to share too a statistic that I think is important to share. That, thank you so much, Cassandra, who's backstage helping us to be able to provide this. Phobias are one of the most common mental disorders in the United States, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. Approximately 10% of people in the U.S. have specific phobias, 7.1% experience social phobias, and 0.9% have agoraphobia. So, and according to money.co in the United Kingdom, despite being the safest way to travel, aerophobia, on the fear of flying, is officially the most common fear in 51 countries. This is according to this statistic in 2021. Flying has just become a 1 in 11 million chance of ending in a fatal. It just only has 1 in 11 million chances of ending in a fatal accident, but it's still yet the number one most common phobia. And I wonder why that's the case. So there are fears that are happening that just get us like locked. And once you're locked in a pattern of, I'm afraid of this thing, I really wonder, what does it take for a person? In your case, I'm believing that it's God, because that's where you're coming from. But not everyone that's watching this show has that same faith base. So what kind of tip can you share with people today that would help them break free of the fears and the phobias and the low self-esteem? I want to hear the answer, but I want it to be right after this commercial break. Okay,
All right.
I'll give you a chance to think about it. All right, listen, everybody, listen. Today's episode is sponsored by Greg Moore with YouCanFlipHouses.com. If you've not heard of Greg Moore, you're going to get an opportunity to learn about him now and the program that he has, which is an academy called YouCanFlipHouses.com. Let's learn more from him now, and we'll be right back with Marie S. Hall in a moment.
What's up, y'all? It's Greg Moore, founder of You Can Flip Houses Academy. Listen, I'm often asked the question, how did you get started flipping houses? Listen, I played for the Patriots in the NFL, and in the game against the Browns, I had a career-ending injury. I was devastated, but I used the money from my rookie season. I bought a house, I flipped it. Fast forward to today, and I flipped over 300 properties, man. And listen, I teach people just like you how to do the same. Join me in my academy at YouCanFlipHouses.com, and I'll see you on the inside.
All right, we're back with Marie S. Hall. And yes, you can learn from YouCanFlipHouses.com. No matter what phase of the academy they're in, you can join right in and pick up. He provides all of the modules for you that, as if you, no matter what phase of the training that you jump in on, you will get everything from the very beginning. So keep that in mind and let him know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you his way. And they do a special promotion for anyone that's a viewer of the Kim Jacobs Show. So welcome back, Marie. Tell us your answer.
So as I was watching his commercial, I was thinking about this quote from Marcus Aurelius that says, the happiness of your life begins with the quality of your thoughts. And that's where it all boils down to. What is your thought process? Now, I said earlier that my thoughts kept me bound. And so one of the things that God showed me was that, and I use the acronym BOSS UP. It had to begin with me. So B stands with begin. You got to begin somewhere. You have to make up in your mind that no matter what, you're going to do it afraid. So you have to be able to begin somewhere. The O is you got to take ownership of who you are and the life that you're in. And if you want to become better, if you never take ownership, you're going to stay in just the same little position. What is that saying, Kim, that says we want to change, but we can't change if we keep doing the same
it's insanity.
thing?
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting a different result.
Yes.
It's insanity.
Thank you. That's it. But we keep on doing the same thing. It's like a hamster on the wheel. You
Right.
just keep going around and around and around, but you're just spinning your wheels. So you got to take ownership of those things. And then the first S is to set some goals. You don't want to set this huge goal that you know is just unreachable and unattainable. You got to set a goal that's short, small, that you can make it through maybe in a week or 2 weeks or
Right.
even a month, depending on you and where you are. And then the other S is to put a system in place. You can't do anything unless you have a system in place, and then utilize your skills that you already have. Don't you know that God has already placed things down inside of you that you have available, but we don't use them because we're always looking at somebody else and what they're doing and what they're saying. Hey, I'm guilty. We're always, I want to do it like them, but God didn't give you that. He gave you something specific that's crafted just for you. And so you got to utilize what God gave you. Don't allow anybody to downplay you. Don't allow any job to downplay you, because jobs, we have a way of allowing jobs to define who we are and our worth. You know what I'm saying, Kim? We
Yes,
have a
yes.
way of allowing jobs to do that to us and tell us what we can do and what we can't do, and how, what kind of skills we have and what kind of knowledge we have. But can I tell you today that you do have skills that are unique to you, that God wants you to use? And then the P is to promote your own self. Promote your own self. If don't nobody else promote you, you got to be able to promote your own self. And so that's what God gave me, boss up, so that you can be the best you that you can be.
Well, we're going to put all of those tips right in the comments section. I see Cassandra backstage diligently typing them all up. So boss up, begin, ownership, set goals, put systems in place, promote yourself, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So those are going to be some tips that you have right here from Marie S. Hall that you can take and apply to your life starting today. What is your overall mission? I noticed that you have a mission here, and I'd love for everyone to hear it.
Well, my overall mission is really to help people transform their lives. We strive to educate, elevate, and empower you to be your best self that you can be. And we give you the tools to use so that you can begin immediately, so that you're not trying to figure out, how do I start? Where do I begin? What do I do? How do I do it? We help you with the steps that you can use to put in place so you can be successful. You know, I've been in a lot of programs. I went through a lot of things. I worked on myself, but you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.
Excellent. Excellent. Listen, we are talking with Marie S. Hall today, and the information that she's sharing on how we can get past fear to be able to utilize the faith that each of us have is second to none. So I'm thanking you for what you've already shared. Throughout this program, we're going to hear some more tips from Marie. And when we close out today's program, we're going to be walking away with even more information about what you're doing right now on your journey. I'd love for us to talk more about that and what's in store for Marie S. Hall, and especially now that you didn't kick fear in the head. So maybe you can give us at least one point right now as we get ready to transition to our next program piece as to what you're doing. What are you doing right now in your journey?
One of the things that I'm doing in my journey is getting out and talking about my life experiences, just being able to share to help someone else see that they can do it too.
There you have it. So she's not keeping that story bottled up on the inside of her where no one else gets the opportunity to benefit. She's sharing it. She's salting the earth, as we call it. You know, she's going out and letting people know that this is what she has as her corner of the earth, that she's going to be responsible for making sure you know how to get better in that area. So we're so glad to have you here, Marie. How can people stay connected with you? I want to make sure people know that as well.
To stay connected with me, please reach out to me at info@mariesboatwright.com. You can also go to my website at www.mariesboatwright.com. And I'm on all social media platforms as Marie S. Boatwright. So you'll see my little picture there, this face right here, and you can just request me as a friend. Thank you, Kim. You're beautiful too. Thank you. So those are the ways to reach me.
Excellent, everyone. Make sure that you stay connected. Again, she said that you can email her at info@mariesboatwright.com. And you can also go to her website and learn everything there is to know right at mariesboatwright.com. We're not done talking to Marie today. She's going to be with us for the last 15 minutes of our episode as well. Right now, we're going to be transitioning to talk with our attorney, Charles Everage, who's in the backstage to talk to us about how to properly apply for Social Security disability. So tag your friends. If you know someone's thinking about applying for Social Security disability, we're going to give you a second to do that as we transition and start talking with attorney Everage. Now, Marie, I'm going to put you backstage, okay?
All right.
And when we come back after this commercial break, we are going to be talking with Attorney Charles Everage. Let me also let you know that today's episode is sponsored as well by Attorney Charles Everage and Hunter. This with the Hunter-Everage Law Firm. Their phone number is 704-377-9157. Again, that's 704-377-9157. And I'd like to be able to just tell you two things about Attorney Everage. He started his law practice over 20 years ago. They have over 20 years of experience as a civil litigator. He's also a passionate advocate for injured workers, the disabled, applying for Social Security disability and benefits, and families experiencing wrongful death. He's originally from the Montgomery, Alabama area and has admitted a practice in Alabama from 1998 before relocating to the Charlotte area in 2003. Now, him and Attorney Hunter, they are in the Charlotte and also in the Richmond, Virginia area. When we come right back, we're going to be hearing directly from Attorney Everage. But let me introduce you to some of the things that caused him to start his law firm.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Everage. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
Everyone, we are back and we have Attorney. You can cut the volume down a little bit, Attorney Everage, for me.
Okay.
But we have Attorney Charles Everage. We have Attorney Charles Everage with us today. Thank you so much, Attorney
Hey,
Everage.
Kim, thanks. Great show this afternoon.
Oh, thank you so much.
Marie.
And thank you for being one of our sponsors. Listen, we want to talk about Social Security disability. And people want to know, what is Social Security disability first? Talk to us about that.
Okay. When you hear people say Social Security disability insurance, when they take the taxes out of your check, part of the taxes that they take out of your check is for disability. And if you become disabled within 5 years of the date that you stop working, you can receive these benefits. There's an application process. Now, Social Security disability is a little bit different than you may hear of short-term disability, something like AFLAC. With Social Security disability, you have to have a condition that is expected to last 12 months or longer, or be terminal. And it could be a mental condition, or it could be a physical condition, or it could be a combination of both.
Okay. So it has to be diagnosed by a physician in that regard, that it is terminal or long-term condition?
Yes, you definitely have to have medical treatment. You just can't say, I have a bad back, and never go to the doctor. You have to show a series of medical treatment with the proper diagnosis and testing. So you must see a doctor. Now, we mentioned Social Security disability, but there's also another type of disability benefits for people that are minors or people that don't have a strong work history, and that's called SSI, and that stands for Supplemental Security Income. If you are below certain income levels and asset levels, you can still receive these disability benefits that pay out monthly from the government if you meet those requirements and are disabled.
Okay, so that's a big difference. And so making sure you can apply for Social Security disability, you have to have a medical diagnosis that will last for at least 12 months or longer, or be deemed terminal is one of the things. And this is a point that we'll put up. Thank you, Cassandra, backstage. And let's see, the other thing is supplemental security.
Yeah, SSI, it just allows those people that have not paid taxes into the system under the disability insurance program, or if you have a minor that hasn't worked at all, if their parents or are below certain income or asset levels, they can receive a form of disability that's called SSI.
Okay, this is really good information. Listen, if you all are watching today, as you are in the studio audience, make sure you, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the comment section. There's an echo, so some kind of way the volume has to come down. But if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the comment section, and we'll be happy to pop those questions up and have Attorney Everage answer them for you. All right. So when should someone apply for the
Yeah,
social?
I often hear that. So the number one thing is to be successful at applying, you need to be at a position where you're no longer working. I often get calls and they'll say, well, I'm really having trouble at work because of my back or because of this issue. I know I can't continue to do this. Well, you're not going to be able to really apply and be successful until you stop working, because the first question that they ask is this person engaging in substantial gainful activity? And they define that as a number. It changes every year, but it's approximately $1,100 a month. If you're making more than $1,100 a month, you can't apply. The second point I'd like to point out is, some people think, well, do I have to wait an entire 12 months before I start the application process? The answer is no. You don't have to wait 12 months. You should do so when you stop working and when the doctor has kind of advised you that they don't think that you'll recover the ability to return to work within a 12-month period. So you don't have to wait a year. And I think the sooner you can start on the application, the better, because it's a notoriously slow process. Don't get frustrated. But most applicants are denied. I think the application denial rate is maybe about 85%. But you have the right to appeal your denial. They'll give you 60 days to file an appeal. And if you're denied a second time, you have the right to appeal a second time. And at that point, you can have a hearing before an administrative law judge. We get involved in cases at any point from the application to the appeal. But, please give us a call as soon as possible, because if you wait too late, your appeal rights may die. Wow. And also, if you wait too late to apply, it may be too late to get these benefits.
That's really good information. And I'm wondering, why do people get denied? Because I would like for you to talk about that a little bit too.
Well, oftentimes they don't have medical treatment documenting their condition. Oftentimes the medical documentation that they have doesn't show the severity of the condition. A lot of people also think that, well, you're going to get disability based on a diagnosis. Well, I'm diagnosed with cancer. That way, because of my diagnosis, I should receive disability.
Right.
It looks, the analysis is a little deeper than that. They look at the severity of the condition and how that condition is affecting your ability to walk, stand, sit, even think. So you can have two people with the exact same diagnosis. You take diabetes, for example. You have one person that, they take their insulin, they follow the regimen, and their blood sugar is fine. You can have another person, they do everything right, but they cannot control their blood sugar, and they're in and out of the hospital. They've had limbs amputated because of the diabetes. Same condition, but one is obviously more affected in severity, and that person is more likely to receive disability.
Wow, that's really enlightening. And I mean, if anybody else is hearing this and agree with understanding that I didn't know some of this stuff until I've heard it from Attorney Everage, just put a 1 in the comments if you're learning something new about Social Security disability or about SSI supplemental disability. Yeah. Put a 1 in the comments. If you have any questions, go ahead and type those questions and we'll get them answered.
And a lot of people, they have been working all their lives. They anticipate working all their lives, and that's what they want to do. And our goal is, number one, if you're ill and you have this condition preventing you from working, we want to get you the benefits that you deserve. And often those benefits come with health insurance, either Medicaid or Medicare. And then after you get better, and hopefully you get better, you can return to the workforce. Wow. The benefits would end, but you can. And some of our clients, though, they receive the benefits for the rest of their lives. You don't have to pay anything up front to be represented by an attorney. In fact, all attorney fees in Social Security disability cases have to be approved by the Social Security Administration, and they're only approved if I win. If we don't win, we have no expectation that you will be able to pay us, or that Social Security will charge you an approval fee because we hadn't done our job.
Wow. So I'm telling you all, if you have not utilized Attorney Charles Everage's services, the services are incredible, just so you know.
Thank you.
I personally have experience with their office and absolutely love the entire staff and the service that's provided and the attention to detail that's given. So definitely go and reach out to them and let them know that the Kim Jacobs Show sent you over there. The phone number is I'm going to mute you second. Okay. So the phone number is 704-377-9157. Again, 704-377-9157. Attorney Charles Everage. They're in the Charlotte area, right on Monroe Road. And even if you want to share a case with them through Facebook, you can go to Hunter, put the & sign, Everage, and you will be able to officially share your case. Let them know again that you heard about them right here. There's no charge for you to get this representation. And if they win, then the fees are approved by the whatever source he said. I'm going to unmute him so he can tell you.
Yeah, and let me just say, Kim Jacobs has a wonderful family. I can speak to that personally. I've represented a couple of her children, and they have the best mama out there, except my mama. But yeah, your family's great. So it's a pleasure representing you. And also, one other way to contact the firm, I know a lot of people like to communicate by text message. So we have a text message line. If you just want to send a text message, we communicate with clients that way. Also, it's 704-285-0111. But I think I saw some people that had ones up. Does that indicate that they had a question, Kim?
Let me see here. I'm going to go right here, right now, and ask. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to do the most over here.
And also, one thing I want to point out to people, with the pandemic, since March of 2020, all Social Security offices are closed. Do not try and go and put your application in because you won't get in the building. So you can start the application online at www.ssa.gov. There's also phone numbers that you can call, or you can make it easier on yourself. Call us first. Let us help evaluate your case and tell you the next steps that you should take. But don't go to the Social Security office. They're still having hearings. The hearings are remote and by telephone, but you can't go down like you used to.
Okay.
And actually physically do it.
Well, I do see quite a few ones in the comment section. If you have a question, please type your question and we will get it answered. And even if Attorney Everage has to go back and look at it further and on our Facebook or whichever channels that you all are asking your questions, I see some ones. If you have questions, please type them and we'll try to do here. Do you represent veterans?
We represent some veterans that are applying for Social Security disability, but the veterans have a separate system where they can apply for disability under the VA system. We don't do VA disability cases, but we do. Some veterans can receive both disability from Social Security and disability from the VA. We only handle the Social Security aspect.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I think that you've done a magnificent job of sharing some great insight that I don't think people just walk around knowing. So I'm very grateful that you've been on here today. And what we'll do is encourage you to reach out to Attorney Everage. Let me give you the contact information again right here. It's Attorney Charles Everage, 704-377-9157. And they are located on Monroe Road in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're also located in the Richmond, Virginia area. Thank you so much, Attorney Everage, for being on, and we appreciate you.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to the next time. I'm enjoying the show. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, listen, we are talking with Marie Hall today, who, as we come back from our commercial break, you're going to get to hear some more from her in our closing comments throughout the rest of today's broadcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Silver Shield Security, 704-440-4688. If you don't have Silver Shield Security, you're missing out on some state-of-the-art equipment. They will provide some great cameras and great customer service. And again, I have Silver Shield Security, so I'm speaking from a personal perspective, but I thank you for being today's episode sponsor as well. Let's learn more, and then we'll be right back with Marie Hall.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
Right, and we are back with Marie S. Hall. How are you, Marie?
I'm doing well. That was some great information. I'm definitely going to pass that on to my friends and family. Very, very knowledgeable. Very, very good.
I'm so grateful because I learned some information I didn't even know as well.
Right.
So we're talking with Marie S. Hall, and she's talking to us about how we can go from fear to faith. What are some additional tips you want to share with everyone watching today?
I think you have to take action. We always have these great ideas, great ideologies, something might pop in our spirit or whatever. But if you don't take action, that's when the doubt begins to set in. That's when you don't believe that you can do it. And then all those negative thoughts begin to take over. You have to take action. If you don't take action, then what is the point? You got to be able to conquer your fear. Joyce Meyer wrote a book that says, "Do it afraid." Hey, don't you know that I was afraid, but I still did it? I didn't know the outcome. And even when I did it afraid, those negative thoughts were coming. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Who told you to do this?
That's right. That's right. And doing it afraid. I've been doing it afraid my whole life. It's a part. You scared? What Les Brown talks about being scared. He said, "What you scared of?" What? "Oh, you must be scared." I was like, "I'm not scared, but I might be scared, but I'm going to do it anyway." Because it's like, oh, well, you got to get pushed out of your comfort zone and do things and know that no matter how much false evidence appearing real is happening in front of you, it's literally just an illusion. You have to push through it to get to the other side. Because it's something there waiting for you, but you'll never know if you don't just do it afraid, right?
Yes, that is so good. You said something really powerful right there. You said, get out of your comfort zone. You now have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And there's no other way to put it. You got to get uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's right. Do it afraid. That's right. Be uncomfortable. I see you, Letitia. You said, do it afraid. Let me put your comment up. I see your comment from Letitia. Letitia says, do it afraid. Any comments that you guys have, if you want to come on and onto the screen right quick and pop in and surprise our guest, you can feel free to use that link right there, and it'll bring you right on the screen with her if you have a question directly or if you have a comment that you want to share with her. All right, so doing it afraid. When did you realize? I wanted to find out, because I know you went through some childhood trauma, got through the teenage bad relationship, and then something happened. Was it when you got into the ministry with your apostle that's when life changed for you, or did it change before?
It actually started changing before. I've been in ministry for 12 years. And
Okay.
so when I started in ministry, God began to do a work on me. But, I said before, there were still areas of my life that I just wouldn't allow God to deal with, or
Right.
allow him to, touch, or allow me to be free to speak about, because it just was something that I didn't want to deal with. It was something that I didn't want to talk about. I felt a lot of shame and humiliation and just rejection, and just all throughout my life, even adulthood. And then, God was giving me all these things, all these books, all these ideas, and I keep everything in a journal.
Okay, me
I'm
too.
a journaler. So
Me too.
everything I would just journal it. I would write it down. And one thing I did, I told a friend before that I wanted to do a certain thing, and that friend spoke negative over me. So that caused me to be like, wow, maybe I don't really have this, but I know what God has said. But I listened to what that person said. So sometimes you just can't share things until it's time, because when you share something,
That's
you
right.
expect everybody to be happy. You expect everybody to want to take a part in your journey, but everybody is just not going to be happy for you. Everybody is just not going to be in your corner. And that's why I said you got to promote yourself. You got to be able to promote your own self and believe in your own self.
That's really good advice, because even sometimes when we're talking about that whole false evidence appearing real, there are people that appear real. I don't know how you word that, but false people, because they officially act like they're in your corner, they're for you, they're supportive of you and your journey, and nothing leads you to believe that it's not real, but really it's an illusion in some cases. Now, not in all cases, because there are sometimes when you have some very genuine people
Yeah.
that would not harm you for any reason, and they genuinely have been sent by God to be a blessing in your life. So I don't ever want to put, because you may have one incident or two one-offs or three one-off situations, does not mean that that's everyone that you're going to encounter, right?
Right.
So we
That
have
is
to have
so
some
true.
open-minded and open heart, that God could still put the right people in your path that support you and believe in you, and you believe in them, without it being all tainted because of one bad experience, right?
Right. So true. That is so true what you're saying. And it just, depends on your mindset. You got to be able to change your mindset into a growth mindset. You can't continue to believe in an old way of thinking. And if you're going to do anything, you got to be able to transform the way that you think about how it's going to come about, or how it's going to come to fruition. And so that's one of the things that I essentially did. And it wasn't until the actual pandemic, where I said, okay, God, it's either now or never.
Right.
Either yes, the pandemic forced me. I think the pandemic forced a lot of people into doing something different. And so that pandemic, I was like, listen, either I'm going to sink or I'm going to swim. God, now you didn't say these things. Now make them happen. Make it be so. God, perform your word. And like you said, everybody is not in God. Everybody is not, believers, but you believe in something. You have a faith in something. So if you don't believe in anything, believe in yourself. Believe that you have the power inside of you to be great. And that's what I did, Kim, during the pandemic. I said, it's either now or never. God, I want everything that you got for me. I want to put everything that you said that I would have. I want to see it happen before I leave this earth.
Woo! That's, you know what? I 100% celebrate what you're saying. I felt the same way. And I was like, look, God, I'm not waiting for no studio to open back up. I'm not waiting. I have an office. I'm going to convert the office and make it be my studio with the right lighting and stuff. We going hard. We going hard in the paint type of thing. It's time to do this now or never. And I agree and support everything that you're saying. But I have a philosophy, Marie, that I am not going to leave this earth with any stone unturned. If it's a stone that God wants for me to be able to look into and look under and see what he wants me to do to salt this earth, I am going to turn that stone over and start utilizing that gift or that talent in some regard, because I don't know what way God wants to bless me. You don't know what way God wants to bless through you and for you and your family, or for you to get to somebody else that's going to be blessed because you were obedient. Anyway, girl, we can go on and on. Let's go here. Let's see here. So Shannon says, yes, indeed. Okay, people saying, Simone says, say that, Ms. Marie. Yes, a growth mindset. Shanna also said, come on, Sister Marie F. Boat, right? Yes, this is fire. Come on now. Come on. They said everything on the inside comes out. Everything on the inside. Go hard, go big, go hard. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yes.
What did somebody say? Bless the turn.
Bleed
the turnip. Bleed that turnip, girl. Y'all talking good, Shannon said. Salt the earth while you are still have time.
Amen. Yes. Amen.
Yes. So listen, what is there to expect like down the pipeline for Marie S. Hall? I know you have some things in the works and I want to hear about them before we close out.
Listen, I never thought, Kim, that I would be an international author. And it sounds weird to say that, but I am an international author. I'm an international speaker. And I'm like, God, you are just blowing my mind. Listen, I see myself down the line on TV, on a billboard, walking on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and just doing great things. But guess what? Who's going to get the glory? God is going to get the glory. For everything that I do, I will put God in it, because I know that is why I am where I am today.
That's right.
So I got to give him the glory no matter where I am, no matter what I do, no matter what I say. He's going to be in my conversation.
Period.
Let me tell you. Period.
Put some exclamation points in the comment if God is going to be in your conversation. No matter what platform you're on, no matter where you are in the world, no matter whose show you on, if God's going to be a part of the conversation, put an exclamation in the comment. I'm going to put my own exclamation.
I'm going to put my own too.
Yeah, I'm going to put my own exclamation. Yes, exclamation point. If God is going to be in the conversation, y'all talking good. Yes, internationally, vision. I see you there too. Shauna says, I see you. Both of y'all. Well, I can tell you if it's Ellen, if it's Oprah, if it's anyone, I'm going to talk about God, what he's done through my life. So, and you know what? That's interesting. It's really interesting, Marie, because I've been looking into all of these trends and stuff that's on social media. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, I'm not doing that. I don't care what they're talking about. I don't want to do that. But I realized that there are so many things out here that are really, really, really concerningly raunchy, but they have millions and millions and millions of followers and viewers. So I said, okay, Lord, well, maybe I'm just not supposed to be that person that's going to have that mega following, but whoever you do have following me, I believe wholeheartedly that you were intentional about me crossing paths with them and them crossing paths with me. I believe that with my whole heart. So I wanted to be, who wouldn't, and nobody is in a talk show and don't want your talk show to be the very top talk show that it can be in the world. Yes. That's like a lie. If I say I don't want my talk show to be the very best international and nationally syndicated, girl, I found my Telly Award, right?
Yes.
My kids put my Telly Award helmet. I said, Lord, let me get some polish and everything. And my little this right here is huge for me. It was Telly Award for
Right.
Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs, being an executive producer and host back in this day.
I love it. I love it.
And make it plain and put it back out here so I can see this. You know, I'm gonna put it where y'all can see it right there too.
Yes, please.
You know what? It's hard for people to know how to support you if you don't put your goals and your visions and some things out into the atmosphere, in my opinion, right?
Yes.
So
Definitely.
I do know we want to operate in stealth mode many times, but then it's like nobody else knows how to pray for you or what to pray for if you don't share with some people that's important in your life, you know? So you have an anthology project that you're going to be a part of, Such a Time as This. Tell us about that.
For Such a Time as This. And I'm working with the fabulous best-selling author Paulette Harper. She's in California. And so I'm working on an anthology with her as one of the authors of her anthology. I also have 3 projects that I'm working on, 3 books that I am working on that will be coming out really soon. I'm on Power Up, so you'll see me as a speaker on Power Up with Kim Coles and Chrisette Michelle and I'm going to
go to that screen because I was going to talk about that anyway. As one of our episode sponsors today is Kern Cherry and the Power Up Virtual Summit. So let me take you to the screen here so people can see. Now tell us about these speakers, because you're going to be on the same stage with all of these speakers come July 14th through the 18th. And Kern in the burgundy right there is the visionary behind this project. You have who? Tell us some of the speakers.
Oh my God, you have Lisa Nichols, and she doesn't know it, but she is my mentor. She is one of my mentors. You have Kim Coles, you have Chrisette Michelle, you have Forbes Riley, you have Dr. Yolanda Jerry, you have so many great people that are going to be on this stage. And I was like, God, is this happening to me right now? Am I a part of this? Like, you are going to blow my mind. God, blow it big. Do it big.
Yes. I mean, it's going to be incredible. It's a free conference too.
Yes.
And again, this is one of our episode sponsors today. You can just go to time2powerup.com and register. If you have not registered for this conference already, I don't know if seats are going to be taken where, it's packed where you can't get in. I don't know, but I will tell you, don't miss the opportunity to register for this free conference. It's Time to Power Up. Powerup.com, and you can get your seat. And before you share your closing comment, I do want to go to this last commercial break, and then I want to hear you share your final thought. Is that possible?
Yes.
All right. I am so excited that we've had the opportunity to speak with you today. I don't want to get off without letting people know, if you're dealing with sexual assault in any way, shape, or form, and you know that you don't need to keep this to yourself, definitely call the 800 hotline. Is 1-800-656-4673. 1-800-656-4673. And we're going to take a moment right quick to hear from the visionary behind the Power Up Summit. And then we're going to hear the closing thought from our guest, Marie S. Hall, today. And we'll be tuning in tomorrow, and I'll tell you who tomorrow's guest is. So let's go right here. All right. So you can hear from Kern Cherry herself. Let's see. I don't know. All right. Let me go back. Okay. I can't hear from Kern. It's like a big X there. So let's see if I can. No, I can't. I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, I will tell you that Kern Cherry is hosting this conference, and it is absolutely going to be incredible. If you have not registered, you simply have to go to time2powerup.com and register today. It's free, July 14th through the 18th, and you don't want to miss this conference because it's something that is going to be life-changing. You can only imagine with all of the speakers that's there. You want to be a part of the time2powerup.com. So I'm going to put that right here so you know where to go register. Time2powerup.com. And Kern Cherry is the visionary behind the project with hundreds of speakers that's going to be blowing your mind for 5 straight days. So you don't want to miss it. All right. Tell us your closing thought, Marie.
All right. So what I want you to know, whoever is watching, whoever will watch this, I want you to know that you have such great power inside of you, power that will influence and change your direction if you wanted to, but you got to find strength and freedom in talking about your life and talking about your struggles and talking about the things that are important to you. And let me tell you, once you begin to talk about the things in your life, it just makes you open to other avenues and other opportunities, but you got to be willing to do that. And I took fear and I changed it around to an acronym that says finally exercise authoritative responses. Finally exercise authoritative responses. And when you do that, you essentially take ownership of your thoughts. You take ownership of your thoughts. So I just want to leave you with that today. We're not living and operating in fear anymore. And even if you listen, fear doesn't go away. It still is a part of me, but I still do it. I'm like, God, okay, you said do it, so I'm gonna do it. I'm learning to just trust the process. Just trust the process. I don't know everything that's going to happen and how it's going to unfold, but I'm trusting the process. And I want you to trust your process also.
Oh my gosh, we're trying to I see you back there typing real fast, and I can see she's like, I'm going to get that point up there. It's not going to end before we end this show today. So let me put this point on here and make sure you guys know that fear. Here we go. Let me put that right here so you can see it big front and center, which is finally exercising authoritative responses. You heard it right here from Marie S. Hall that fear is no longer false evidence appearing real, blah, 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 blah. It's actually finally exercising authoritative responses. So when you say fear, you say that you heard this quote from Marie S. Hall right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Finally exercising authoritative responses. Wow, you've blown my mind. Stay backstage if you will, because I'd love to get an after party comment from you. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, hello. That means that you are not a part of the Patreon membership, because if you were a Patreon member, you would be unlocking after party content. So here's how you can support the Kim Jacobs Show and be an online financial contributor or a Patreon member, which gives you exclusive after party content. All you have to do is screenshot this and support the Kim Jacobs Show to allow us to bring balance to the world, one household at a time. That's the only way this program functions, is by our partnership together through your online financial contributions. So you can Cash App, you can PayPal, Cash App Kim Jacobs Inc., PayPal, or Venmo, or you can also become a Patreon member, and that's like $12 a month. And you get an opportunity to unlock content that you didn't hear on the show. And all this week, the people have stayed after stage. The stuff they saying at the after party, y'all, they did not say on the show. And it really does blow your mind. So anyway, there you have it. Tomorrow we have a guest that's going to be on talking about how to begin again and how it's never too late to begin again. Look at her. Carol Ferguson is going to be right here on the Kim Jacobs Show, and she's going to be telling us how to begin again. I see all of your comments that came in. I will ask you, Marie, if you would go back and just, respond to some of these comments. Letitia, great show, great word. I'm using the trust the process, Marie. All kind of comments have come in. So please make sure you take a moment and just respond to those when you can later today. Thank you all for tuning into this episode. Thank you, Marie, for being an outstanding
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Charles Everage, for being on and sharing those great tips about Social Security, disability, and SSI, supplemental insurance, disability. Wow, I've learned a lot today. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. And thank you, Cassandra, backstage as well.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And studio audience. God bless you. Wow. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.